tell us about this typhoon. And I understand just within the last few hours, it's actually been downgraded to a tropical storm. What do we need to know here?
Yeah, that's right. It came in ashore earlier on Thursday in Kyushu, um, as a Category 2 hurricane equivalent, wind gust to 120 miles per hour. It is now that it's moved over land, it is since the weekend, or lost wind intensity. Now it's down to a tropical storm. The main threat going forward now that the winds are kind of subsided, the main threat is going to be heavy rain, especially with the system start expected to slow. It looks like it's moving gradually northeastward to east northeastward, but at some point, I think Friday night or Saturday, it's going to stall and kind of sit in the same area for maybe 24, 36 hours before the next front comes along and finally picks it up and pushes it off the east coast of Honshu, probably early next week. Probably, I'm guessing some point later Tuesday at this point.
Later Tuesday. So that's an extended period. But I want to go back to those wind speeds that you mentioned. How high had the wind gotten, and how strong are the gusts right now?
Right now, the strongest gusts are somewhere in the vicinity of hurricane force, which is about 75 miles per hour. There could be on some of the elevated areas where there may be observations a little more sparse, probably up at upwards of 80 miles per hour. But at its peak, as it was starting to move across the northern Ryukyu Islands, it got to a Category 4 hurricane equivalent, which gave you gusts to 140, 150 miles per hour. But fortunately, by the time it made landfall in Kyushu on Thursday, it had run into some drier air, some stronger wind shear, so it lost some wind intensity by the time it finally made that landfall on Kyushu earlier on Thursday, local time.
Okay, so that was the wind. And what about rainfall? I've seen numbers like 60 centimeters, which is 2 feet of water. How much rain is falling on the ground in Japan right now?
Near where it made landfall, there's been widespread amounts of 1 to 2 feet of rain, like 12 to 24 inches, even some local amounts approaching 3 feet, like 36 inches, 33, 34, I think is the highest I saw so far. As the system moves eastward very slowly, I think we could continue to see, just due to the fact that it looks like it probably stalls for a time over the course of the weekend, we could see areas maybe as far east as around Osaka getting 12, maybe 24 inches of rain with the system, especially if it slows and stalls in the area for 24, 36 hours.